हरिहंत सिद्ध सुर उपाध्याय साधु सर्व अर्थ के प्रकाशी मांगलिक उपकारी है। तीन को स्वरूप जानी रागते भई जो भक्ति काय को नमाए स्तुति को उच्चारी है। धन्य धन्य तुम्ही से काज सब आज भयो कर चोरी बारंबार वंदना हमारी है। मंगल कल्याण सुख ऐसो हम चाहते ओ मेरी ऐसी दशा जैसी तुम धारी है। हो मेरी ऐसी दशा जैसी तुम धारी है। मंगलाचरण ऑफ तत्पाठ सूत्र। मोक्ष मार्गस्य नेतारं हेतारं कर्म भूभृतां ज्ञातारं विश्वतत्त्वानां वन्दे तद्गुणलब्धये वन्दे तद्गुणलब्धये। Acharya Uma Swami has written this scripture, Tattvat Sutra. Last week we had two classes on this, and we were discussed in the last two classes we discussed what are the tools to know the 7 fundamental elements and right belief, right knowledge, and right conduct. So there were 3 levels of student and 3 kinds of solutions was offered. First one was for the students who has got very little interest. For them, comprehensive knowledge and point of view, Praman and Nay. These were the 2 tools to know this. For the middle level of interest students with medium interest, there were 5 tools, like nature, definitions, ownership, tools or means, tribunal or location, duration. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 tools were there, and variety or divisions. Then for students with interest, with intense interest, there were 8 components to that. Sat, Sankhya, Kshetra, Sparshna, Kal, Antara, Bhav, Alpa Bahutva. So then we moved on to the discussion on knowledge, starting from the 9th sutra up to 32 sutra. We will be discussing only about knowledge. So initially they said that there are 5 kinds of knowledge: sensory knowledge, scriptural knowledge, clairvoyance, telepathy, and omniscience. These are divided into 2, direct and indirect. Sensory and scriptural are indirect, and clairvoyance, telepathy, and omniscience is direct. Out of this, again, there are 2 types. Clairvoyance and telepathy are limited direct knowledge, and omniscience is complete direct knowledge. Then we discussed the synonyms of sensory knowledge: Mati, Smriti, Sangya, Chinta, Abhinibodh. These were the last discussion that we did. Mati is sensory cognition. Smriti is recollection or remembrance. Then Pratyabhigyan is recognition. Then Chinta is reasoning, induction or reasoning. So reasoning is a better word that I have found out. And the last one was Anuman or Abhinibodh, that is inference or deduction. So inference is a better word. So we'll be using inference everywhere. Today we will be starting with the 14th sutra from first chapter, Tad Indriya Nimittam, that is caused by the senses and mind. So sensory knowledge is such that it takes the help of the medium of senses and mind to know the things. So there are two things only, five senses and the mind. Mind is beyond senses. It is also called quasi senses. It is also called internal sense. Sutra number 15. Avgraha, Iha, Avai, Dharana. So again, this sensory knowledge is of four types. The four divisions of sensory knowledge are apprehension, very good word, apprehension. Then second is apprehension is called avgraha. Then the second is, here it is written, speculation. But the better word is inquisitiveness, curiosity. Okay. Third one is avai. Avai is called perpetual judgment or only judgment. We can call is only judgment. And the fourth one is dharana. Dharana is retention. Okay. So there is no ambiguity in those words. So initially, what happens? First of all, the whole process is like that. First of all, there is perception, darshan upyog. Then comes knowledge, and under knowledge first comes avgraha. Avgraha is a apprehension. Its nature is knowledge at first sight. Okay. And then when we further go deep, then it becomes iha. Iha means inquisitiveness, curiosity. Okay. So examples are given that in the first case, when there is avgraha, viewing any white object. So it's a very general impression, knowledge at first sight, it is called apprehension that there is some white object. Now, the second part, iha. In iha, there is a curiosity, desire to know what it is, whether it is bird or it is flag. So it is still the doubts remain, whether it is bird or flag, we are not certain. So still the doubt remains. Then when we go to avai, which is judgment, then there is no doubt. We are very certain, but we do not retain those things. We may forget. So by the movement of feather, knowing it to be a bird, okay. So now you are certain that it is a bird. So in avai, the decision or the judgment is made. Okay. There is remains no doubt. The next step would be dharana. Dharana means retention. So when it goes up to the level of retention, then there is no doubt and you don't forget it also. You retain in future also. The example is not to forget in future. So these are the stages that a knowledge passes through, okay? And then only he is able to know the thing properly. So these are the four gradual steps. It may happen that sometimes the knowledge may stop at avgraha only, first level only, apprehension level only. Then sometimes it may go up to iha, inquisitiveness, curiosity, speculation. Then it might again come back to avgraha, or it might go to the third stage where you are making a judgment. Okay, it is called avai. Sorry, it is called avai. Now, after the judgment, if it goes to dharana, then you are able to retain it. But if you again come back after avai, then you are likely to forget it. Okay. So those things that are reaching up to dharana, that only are being retained. Okay. Otherwise, you forget it. So now, to know all these four, so there are 12 divisions of objects. Okay. So 12 divisions and 4 types of sensory knowledge. Okay. So 12 into 4 is 48 types. That the chart is given in the next page. But first we will see the 12 divisions. Okay. 12 divisions are the divisions by which these are the divisions of the object. Okay. And in total, there will be 336 subdivisions of this sensory knowledge. Okay. So this 336 is discussed in the next page. It's just a combination of all these four and the 12 types of object knowing it. So Sutra number 16, the subdivisions of each of these. Subhaji, can you read? Sutra number 16, you can read. You have the textbook with you?
Yeah, I have. The subdivisions of each of these are many. Many types Bahuvida, with Sipra, hidden Anistra, one type Ekavida, unexpressed Anukta, permanent Dhruva, and their opposites. Shall I continue, Ji?
No, let me explain. So you see there are 6 names and then it is written that and their opposites. So opposites means 6 plus 6, it becomes 12. Okay. So these 12 are the types of objects. What it is? 12 types of object. And it is known by four type of sensory knowledge. Okay. Apprehension, inquisitiveness, judgment, retention. Okay. These are the 4 types of sensory knowledge. And there are 12 types of object to this sensory knowledge. Okay. So now these 12 objects are being discussed. So in Sutra number 16, they have mentioned 6 names and then they have written and their opposites. So 6 plus 6 opposite, it becomes 12. And in the chart number 17, it is being explained. Sutra number 17, it is being explained. The above mentioned are the attributes of an object. So all these 12 are the attributes of an object. See, the object is of 12 types. First one is Bahu. Bahu means many. Number, many means in number or quantity, means many quantities. Okay. Many objects, you can say many objects. First one is Bahu. Then the second one is Bahuvid. Bahuvid means many types of objects. So examples are also given in the third column. You can see I have made you a course. Aditi, you can share the textbook on the screen if you are able to.
Sir, actually, I am from the mobile, so neither I have the textbook nor I have
Okay.
uh, this thing. But let me try if I can do. Just give me 10
I
minutes.
can do, Ji.
You can do?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm making course to Baji. I made you a course, okay? Hmm. So the first one, many example is many cows like white, black, brown. Page number 13. Yes. You had gone ahead, 1 page ahead. Come back. Yeah. 1 page more. Yes. Further up. See, there is a chart there. Previous page, previous page, not this page. Where? No. No, no, no. You are going back. Come forward. Page number 13. Bus. This one. Slightly now. Yeah. Further. No, not this one. Next. This one. Bahu. Bahu means many. So many cows like white. Yes. Like white, black, brown, etc. Then Bahuvid. Many types of object. So the first one was regarding quantity. This is regarding many kinds of object, like various categories like cow, bull, horse, etc. So in that there were only one type, but many cows, many cows of different colors like white, black, brown. So now there are many kinds of products. So cow is also a object, bull is also object, horse is also object, lion is also object, like that. The third category is fast moving. Okay. Fast flowing like water flow. Okay. So there are objects which are very fast moving. Then there are fourth one is hidden object, which is not expressed, like elephant immersed inside the water. You can only see his trunk. Okay. So this is called hidden object. Then the fourth one is anukta, not expressed or unexpressed, without speaking, doing action by just nodding head for yes or no. So you are not speaking actually, but you are just nodding your head to say yes or no. This is called unexpressed. Then the sixth one is constant, lasting for a long time, like mountain. So mountain are some objects which last for centuries, big mountains. So, so these are six kinds of object. Now there will be six opposite to it. So first one was many. So the seventh one is one. Opposite of many is one matter, one white cow. Only one cow, and that also white cow, very specific. Then the second one, many types of object. Here it would be number 7, one object. One type of object, that is one category, but many varieties like cow of white, brown, black. Okay, so you can see the difference. There were different animals, cow, bull, horse. Here it is only one type of matter, but having different colors. The third one was fast moving. So here it is slow cognition, slow moving objects like turtle. Okay, turtle, ant, these are all slow moving. Of course, ant, you cannot say slow moving, they move very fast, but then there are some other insects, small, they are very slow moving. Then 10th one is visible. So there it was hidden object, here is visible. Elephant coming out of water. So when you can see the full elephant is called visible. Then the 11th one, which is expressed. So earlier it was unexpressed. Now it is expressed. Someone said this is a pot. Okay. So this is clearly expressed. And the last one is transitory. You have to take the page up slightly. Transitory, that means short-lived. The sixth one was lasting for a long time. So opposite would be lasting for a short period of time, short-lived. Like lightning. Lightning, you can goes away in a second. Just a blink and it goes away. So these are the 12 types of matter subject to sensory knowledge. Now the divisions of apprehension. So apprehension is of two types. One is contact awareness. So apprehension would be of two types, distinct entity and indistinct entity. Okay. Indistinct entity is also called contact awareness or contactual. You can call it both ways. Okay. So this contextual awareness does not arise by means of the eyes and mind. Okay. So we have 5 senses and mind. So this contact awareness, it is called indistinct entity, indistinct entity, which is not present, So this is called contact awareness. So here only apprehensions happen. The knowledge does not go further from apprehension towards inquisitiveness. It doesn't go there. It remains only up to apprehension, and except mind and eye. Okay. 4 remaining sense organs are the medium through which this knowledge is happening. What are these 4 remaining senses? Hear, smell, taste, and touch. Okay. Only mind and eye, you don't have contact awareness. You cannot contact anything with mind, and you cannot contact anything with eyes. You can see the object from a distance. Okay. So this particular contact awareness, indistinct entity, which is called Vyanjan Avgraha. In Hindi, it is called Vyanjan. So it has got only the contact awareness, and that happens to 4 sense organs like hear, smell, taste, touch. And there are 12 types of objects. So 4 into 12 total is 48. Okay. So there are total objects of the sensory knowledge is total is 336, after which we have calculated 48. Now the next part of the apprehension is distinct entity. Distinct entity is called Artha Avgraha. That means object awareness. Here, apprehension is also happening. Then inquisitiveness is also happening. Then judgment is also happening, and retention. All 4 are happening. So 4 into, we can know through all 5 senses of organs and mind. So 4 into 6 is 24. And then we have 12 types of substances. So 24 into 12 is 288. So 48 plus 288 is equal to 336. Okay. So the objects of sensory knowledge could be 336. So you can make out how we come to the calculation of 336. Okay. So first of all, apprehension has 2 divisions. One is contact awareness, and other is object awareness. So contact awareness, you have only apprehension in that, and except mind and eye, the remaining 4 sense organs are the medium that is acting there, and there are 12 kinds of substance. So total is 12 into 4 is 48. Object awareness, everything is happening. Apprehension is happening, inquisitiveness is happening, judgment is happening, and retention is also happening. Plus all the 5 senses and mind are also able to know it. So there are 12 types of substance. So 4 into 6 into 12 is 288. Now, the order of origin of knowledge. How is the sequence happens? So just now we discussed the 4 Augra, Iha, Avai, Dharana. As I said, it is not necessarily that always the knowledge will reach up to the retention. In between, it can again subside. It can go back. It can go back to the first impression also. So it is not that every time it will go up to retention, but if it goes up to retention, then it will go through this sequence only. It may not happen that from apprehension you can straightway go to retention. No, it doesn't happen. It will follow this sequence. So now what is the order of origination of this knowledge? Okay. So here it is mentioned, to perceive. So this is applicable to 4 sense organ except eye. Okay. So first of all, to perceive through other senses. So except eye, it is called achakshu darshan. Okay. To perceive through other senses, this is called contact awareness. Okay. So in contact awareness, mind and eye are exceptions. So the other four senses are there. It is called contact awareness. From there, it goes to object awareness. Why it goes to object awareness? Because object awareness is having all the four: apprehension, speculation, perpetual, judgment, and retention. Okay. So then it goes to object awareness. From there, it goes to the second level, the inquisitiveness or speculation. Then it goes to the third level, judgment. And then it goes to retention, the last level. So this is the sequence it will go. Because these are four sense organ. Okay. Now, eye. So again, eye is not there. Only the apprehension. In case of apprehension, eye and mind doesn't work there. So to perceive through eyes is chakshu darshan. So this is the perception that will happen uh, to perceive through eyes. Okay. Then object awareness, directly object awareness, because there is no contact awareness, is eye and mind. There is no contact awareness. So it will go directly from chakshu darshan to object awareness, arthavagra. From there, it will go to the inquisitiveness. From there to judgment to retention. So this is the sequence the knowledge will go through. Then in case of mind, it will be more or less like eyes only. First of all, to perceive through other senses, that is achakshu. This is mind. So it is achakshu darshan, right? Achakshu darshan, perception. Then object awareness. Okay. No contact, so object awareness directly. Then speculation or inquisitiveness. Then judgment and retention. So this is the knowledge will follow this sequence. Again, here it may happen that it will go up to a third level and come back. It is not that always it will go up to the retention level. But whenever it goes to retention level, this will be the sequence. There cannot be anything that you can skip in between. You have to follow this sequence. So these are the functions of sensory knowledge that we were discussing. Now we will discuss in the verse sutra number 20. It will be scriptural knowledge. Here it is written precisive knowledge, but a better word would be srut gyan, scriptural knowledge. So you can just change the word everywhere, scriptural knowledge. Scriptural knowledge is preceded by sensory knowledge. Okay. So in sensory knowledge, we saw all these functions. Now, after sensory knowledge only, you can go to scriptural knowledge. Okay. So it is preceded by sensory knowledge, and it is of 2, 12, or of many kinds. Okay. 2, 12, many kinds. So we will see how it is 2. So there are 2 broad divisions, Anga Pravishta and Anga Bahya. Anga Pravishta means the original canon. And the Anga Kahya means outside the canonical work. It is called non-canonical work. Okay. So there are 2 broad divisions of this scriptural knowledge. Then this Anga Pravishta, the first division, it has got 12 types. Okay. And the second division, Anga Bahya, it is of many types. So that's why it was mentioned 2 types, 12 types, and many types. Okay. So what is scriptural knowledge? Knowing the matter with the help of already known matter through sensory knowledge. So sensory knowledge, through sensory knowledge, you are knowing something. And with the help of that, you are knowing something else. Then it becomes scriptural knowledge. So sensory knowledge to scriptural knowledge to again we come back to sensory knowledge. This kind of deviation happens all the time. It is not necessarily that every time it will realize, it will go up to scriptural knowledge. It may happen that it may end at apprehension. It may end at inquisitiveness. It may end at judgment, and it may end at retention. Or it may go up to scriptural knowledge. Okay. Now, what is this Anga Pravishta, original canon? So, original canon are the canons said by the Gandhar. Okay. So, Gandhar are responsible for understanding the sermons of the Tirthankar. Okay. So, from Tirthankar's Divya Dhvani, divine sound, to Gandhar, and Gandhar, whatever Gandhar writes, not they were writing through like on Tadpatra or something, but in their memory only, in their knowledge only, they are able to create this kind of things, and this is called Anga Pravishta. So this is called original canon. And then the other acharyas in the lineage, they write Anga Bahya, non-canonical works. Okay. So these are of many types. So now we will move on to 121. So basic difference between Anga Pravishta is that it is directly by the, it's created by the Gandhar, and Anga Bahya is not created by the Gandhar, but the Acharyas in the line, in the same lineage. Okay. Then we move on to the next knowledge, that is clairvoyance. So we discussed sensory knowledge, we discussed scriptural knowledge, and now we move on to clairvoyance knowledge. Clairvoyance based on birth is possessed by celestial and infernal beings. Okay. So what subjects do the clairvoyance knowledge know? So the clairvoyance knowledge knows the substances with form, rupi padarth, only the substances which has form, okay, like matter substance, okay. So clairvoyance knowledge can only know matter substances, pudgal only, with form of limitations to dravya, kshetra, kal, bhav, substance, place, time, and disposition. So it is not that they know unlimited. To a certain limit, they can know from the substance point of view, place point of view, time point of view, and disposition point of view. Okay. So this is the limitations of clairvoyance knowledge. So there are two types of clairvoyance knowledge. One is bhav pratyay, based on birth, and the other is based on qualities called gun pratyay. Okay. So we will read the 21, sutra number 21 and 22. Okay. So these are some of the new terminologies for all of you. As you practice and read again and again, you will be able to understand. Only thing is that it's just the new terminology that has come up. So it might appear very difficult, but it is all very easy once you try to understand it. Okay. These are the different forms of knowledge only. Okay. So, like in a computer, we have, I think, motherboard, no? Motherboard is the main processor, I think, right? Similarly, in our knowledge, these are all the tools that is coming in between. And it's very interesting to know the whole process, that how our knowledge works. And when you understand the omniscient knowledge, then uh, you can just imagine that what science has been able to achieve, and what our Tirthankars and all have said in their sermons. So minute things that is not comprehensible by the knowledge that we have, Mati Shrut Gyan. So scientists have Mati Shrut Gyan, sensory knowledge and scriptural knowledge, and they cannot go beyond certain level. But omniscient knows everything, and it has said this in his sermons, holy sermons, and then it has been uh, passed on to Gandhar, and from Gandhar to Acharyas, and in that lineage we have got these books, and we are able to know what omniscient being is knowing directly, that we are able to know through these scriptures. Okay. So 21 says clairvoyance based on birth is possessed by celestial and infernal beings, and clairvoyance from based on quality. Clairvoyance from destruction comes subsidence of the karmas. Okay. So slight karmas are subsidized. Some is destroyed and some is subsidized. So destruction comes subsidence, that is shayopsham of the karmas, is of 6 kind. It is acquired by the rest, that is human beings and subhuman beings. Here it is written animals, but you correct it, subhuman beings. Okay. So we have only 4 categories. So if we put it as animals, then where you will put the plant kingdom? So plant kingdom is also under Tiryanj Gati, and Tiryanj Gati, the better word for that is subhuman state. Okay. So this knowledge is people having, human beings and subhuman can have. Okay. So now the 2 types of clairvoyance, based on birth and based on qualities. Uh, based on birth, first one, nature. What is the nature of the clairvoyance knowledge which is based on birth? Birth being the cause for existence. Okay. By default, when they take birth, the celestial beings and the infernal beings or hellish beings. Okay. By birth, they have this knowledge with them, and through that, they can know of their past lives, but they can know only the material product, matter substance they can only know. Okay, clairvoyance knowledge. Then, who is the owner? All celestial beings, infernal beings, and omniscient Tirthankars. So this is an extra. Only the omniscient Tirthankar have this knowledge. Tirthankars have all kinds of knowledge, complete knowledge. Okay, so it is always included here. So when they manifest omniscient knowledge, then this clairvoyance knowledge is not there. But before they manifest omniscience knowledge, Tirthankars can have this kind of clairvoyance knowledge. Now, based on quality, occurs due to birth, or occurs based on right faith. Okay, so this is can only be possible with people having right faith. Okay, so human beings can also have it, and subhuman beings, the particularly the animals, can have it, because plant are all one sensed. So animals, 5 sensed animals with mind, can have this clairvoyance knowledge based on quality, gun pratyay. Now, based on qualities, gun pratyay is again explained, is subdivided into 6 parts. Okay. So, first one is anugami. Anugami means move along from one state or one birth to another. Move along from one place to another place. Okay. Move along from one place to another place. This is called anugami gun pratyay clairvoyance knowledge. Then there is ananugami, doesn't move along with one state to another. Okay. So it doesn't move. Then there is Vardhman, increasing, keeps on increasing. Then there is Hiyaman, keeps on decreasing. Then there is Avasthit, remains steady, steadfast. And then there is Anavasthit, it keeps on increasing and decreasing. Okay. So based on qualities, clairvoyance knowledge is again of 6 types. Now, classification of clairvoyance knowledge by another way. Okay, so there are another way. There are 3 divisions to that. Desh Avdi, that is by birth. So by birth, Desh Avdi is applicable to celestial beings and infernal beings. Okay. Then there is Param Avdi, supreme clairvoyance knowledge, and Sarvavdi, complete clairvoyance knowledge. Okay. The owner of supreme clairvoyance knowledge and complete clairvoyance knowledge attains liberation in the same birth. Just imagine, in the same birth they are going to get liberated. And Deshavdi are with celestial beings and the infernal beings, which is by birth. Now we move on to the next knowledge, the telepathy. Okay. So this telepathy are of 2 types, simple and complex. First of all, what is telepathy? To know the thoughts of others' mind of the fixed substance with form. So they can know what the other person is thinking in his mind, but that also should be matter substance. Okay. So that means our all thoughts and the vehicle that we have are all matter substance. Okay. So to know the thoughts of others' mind of the fixed substances with form. Okay. So there are 2 types of this telepathy knowledge. One is simple, other is complex. Simple is called Rajumati and the complex one is Vipulmati. The difference between the 2 are due to purity and infallibility. Infallibility means one who does not fall. Okay. So there are 2 types of ladders. One is Shapak Shreni, where you never fall, you go on climbing the new stages. It starts from 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14 and liberation. And there is another kind of ladder called subsidence. Okay. So here it doesn't get destroyed. The karmas don't get destroyed, but it is only subsided. So it again starts from 8, spiritual ladder, from 8 to 9, 10, then 11. From 11 it falls. Why it falls? Because in the first case, the karmas were destroyed. But here it is not destroyed, it is subsided. So it can again rise. Okay. And when it rises, there is a fall. Okay. So difference between the simple and the complex. Okay. Rajumati and Vipulmati is on account of purity and infallibility. Now, purity, and these are discussed in the chart below. This is Sutra number 24. That is, the differences between the two are due to purity and infallibility. Okay. Know the simple concrete objects of thought. Okay. So this is because this is telepathy, they can only know what thoughts are going in the mind of the other people. Okay. So knows the simple concrete object of thoughts. But in case of complex, simple and complicated objects of thought are known. Now, what is the difference between the simplest, simple and complex? So simple, the difference is the first one is not written. You can write it down if you want to write down. Knows the objects thought of. Okay. So whatever you thought, it can know these objects, whatever you can think only, right? If you don't think, then it is not known through this knowledge, simple. But complex knowledge knows the objects thought of, not thought of, half thought of, everything. Okay. So it is having more clarity. Okay. Complex one. So who is having the complex one? The one who is going to get liberated in the same birth, they can have this complex telepathy knowledge. Okay. Simple telepathy knowledge, there is no rule that they can get liberated in the same birth. They can get also or does not get also, but there is no rule. So what is the second difference? Less clarity about the soul, more clarity about the soul. Let me see. No, this is not the meaning. Less clarity about the soul is not correct. Because the knowledge that this telepathy is, it can only know through telepathy, you can only know the matter products. Okay. So that means that you cannot know the soul. Okay. So this simple Rajumati would be the person who is having less purity. Okay. Less purity of the soul, they can have this simple Rajumati. And people who have got more purity of the soul, they are able to have this complex telepathy. Okay. The third difference is maybe a fall in the process of renunciation. So as I said, there are two types of spiritual ladder. So one who is into the subsidence kind of spiritual ladder, they will definitely fall. But those who are in the destructional kind of renunciation, they never fall. They go on progressing and get liberated. So maybe a fall in the process of renunciation, no fall in the process of renunciation. Last, no rule to get liberated in the same birth, fixed rule of attaining liberation in the same birth. So now my question, so there are some other differences based on time. Let's see how far, what are the differences, and then we'll come back to this discussion. Based on time, minimum is 2-3 births. Okay. Maximum, they can know of 7-8 births. Okay. Not more than that. So in case of simple telepathy, it will be 2-3 births. In case of complex telepathy, it could be minimum 7-8 births. Now, what is the maximum in case of simple telepathy? It is 7-8 births. And in case of complex telepathy, it is uncountable birth. Maximum is uncountable birth. Okay. The next difference is based on place. Minimum 2-3 course. Maximum 8-9 yojan. Okay. Sorry, no, this is not the maximum. Minimum in case of simple telepathy is 2-3 course, and minimum in case of complex telepathy is 8-9 yojans. So 8-9 yojans is a big figure, compared to course. And the maximum is 7-8 yojan, and in case of complex, it is the whole universe. You can know the whole universe. Okay, human world, whole human world or universe. So these are the things. Now we have completed the study of 4 knowledge. Of course, there is remaining the difference between the clairvoyance and telepathy. But before that, let me ask you, we have studied now sensory knowledge, then scriptural knowledge, then clairvoyance knowledge, and the telepathy knowledge. Okay. Out of these 4, what will be useful to know your own soul? You tell me.
Scripture knowledge.
Okay. Anyone else? Sensory knowledge also. Sensory and scriptural knowledge, because scriptural knowledge only happens when there is a sensory knowledge. Okay. So you have seen the sequence. First it is perception. Perception, then comes knowledge. In knowledge also we have 4 first divisions. That is apprehension, inquisitiveness, judgment, retention. Okay. After retention, it can go to scriptural knowledge. So both, because both are knowing through 5 senses and mind. So senses are not useful in knowing the soul. You cannot know the soul through senses, because through senses you can know only those objects which has got touch, taste, smell. So those are only matter substances. Okay. Soul is not a matter substance. Soul does not have touch, taste, cells. So through 5 senses you cannot know the soul. But the mind is the icebreaker. Through mind can know the material object and non-material object also. The soul is a non-material object. So because of mind, you can know the soul. Okay. So this knowledge, although you may know that who was in previous birth, what was his birth, you can know everything. But this is no use in the path of liberation. Okay. So for knowing our own soul, we need to have only Mati Srudyan, and that is what we are having right now. So our spiritual progress is not stopped just because we don't have clairvoyance and telepathy. Okay. Because those are the knowledge which only knows matter substances. Okay. They cannot know the soul substance. Now the 25 number verse, 25 number sutra, telepathy knowledge and clairvoyance differ with regard to purity. First of all is purity, then spatial range, species of the knower, and the last one, nature of the objects identified then. So there is the chart in the difference. Both the difference are given. You take it slightly up. Yeah, thank you. So clarity. So clairvoyance knowledge has less clarity. Telepathy has more clarity. Then the second one is place, originated place, and subject place. So originally plate is Stras Nadi. Okay. So it is the three worlds, only the heavenly beings and the hellish being have this clairvoyance knowledge. So the original place would be the Tras Nadi, the entire universe. Okay. But telepathy is only, who is eligible for telepathy, you know? Only the true believer monk. Okay. Only true believer monk can manifest telepathy knowledge. So this will be only human world where human exists, and though in human also the monks and monks also with right belief, they are only eligible for telepathy knowledge. So what is this human world? What is the subject place? 45 lakh yojans of Gan Pratara Rupa. That is called space. Okay. This is a space. Now, who is the owner of clairvoyant knowledge? In all four realms of developed Paryap, five sense being with mind. Okay. Mind is compulsory. So, in all the four realms, so it could be human, subhuman, then hellish being and heavenly being. Okay, all the four. Now in telepathy, it is blank here, but if you want to write, you can write it down. I'll just explain you. Yeah. The first one, who is the owner? The humans in Karma Bhumi. So we are all now in Karma Bhumi. When the fourth era began, it was Karma Bhumi. Up to three era, first era, second era, and three era, this was called as Bhog Bhumi. Okay. People doesn't have to work, only they used to think and they used to get the things. If they are hungry, they will think of the food and the food will arrive. So they don't have to cook or do anything. Because in those days there was Kalpa Vriksha. So after the end of the third era and the beginning of the fourth era, civilization started and people had to work, Asi, Masi, Krasi and all. Adinath Bhagwan started this. So all the humans, then it became a karma bhumi. Okay, so you have to work. So karma bhumi. So in humans of karma bhumi can be the owner of telepathy knowledge, and then self-restraint monk. Second point would be self-restraint monk. The monk who has got taken vows. Okay, those monks, true monks, true realized monks can only have this knowledge. The third is the conduct. Okay, the monk that is having the conduct of constant improvement. Okay, so the concentration keeps on increasing constantly. That is the third one. And the fourth one is having minimum one special power. Riddhis. The monks have riddhis, special powers. We did discuss this in Moksha Marg Prakashak, the special powers. I think Subhaji had this question of special powers, right? So these special powers, monks having special powers, having minimum one special power out of seven. So there are seven kind of special powers of a monk, and out of seven, one must be their minimum, so they can have this telepathy knowledge. What is the subject of clairvoyance knowledge? Smallest atom, Parmanu. Okay. And what is the subject of the telepathy knowledge? The infinite part of the clairvoyance knowledge. So whatever you know through clairvoyance knowledge, you know the infinite part of that knowledge, that is telepathy knowledge. Thought activities, particles are more at micro level. Okay. So they are more subtle. It will be not more at micro level. Thought activity particles which are more subtle. That is what it means. Okay. So this is the infinite part of the clairvoyance knowledge. Okay. So if it is say 100 clairvoyance knowledge, this will be less than one. That is the kind of knowledge telepathy is. So now we move on to 26. The range of sensory knowledge and scriptural knowledge extend to all the 6 substances, but not for all their modes. Modes means modification. Okay. So the range of sensory and scriptural knowledge. So we have sensory and scriptural knowledge. It extends to all the 6 substances. Okay. We can know in our sensory and scriptural knowledge. Some we can know it directly, and some we can know through the scriptures. Okay. So we can know all the 6 substances, but not all their modifications. Not all their modifications means past, present, and future. Hmm. 26. 1 minute. Hmm. So not all modifications, few modifications. Okay. Then the 27, the scope of clairvoyance is the object that has form. So that has form means those corporeal objects only. Okay. Having touch, taste, smell, rupi padarth. Form means rupi padarth. Then 28, the scope of telepathy is the infinitesimal part of the matter ascertained by clairvoyance knowledge. So that we already discussed right now, that it is the infinite part of the clairvoyance knowledge. Then 29. Now we are coming on to the 5th knowledge, the omniscient knowledge. Omniscient knowledge, Keval Gyan, extend to all entities, substances, and all their modes simultaneously. Okay. So omniscience knowledge, there is nothing that is hidden for omniscient. He knows everything, past, present, future, all modification of all substance, and that also simultaneously. In one moment, it knows everything. Now just imagine that we are all possessing omniscient knowledge. All. Right now, we are having omniscient knowledge as an attribute in us. Only it will get manifested when you reach the 13th stage of spiritual development. Okay. But as an attribute, you are having it. Each soul is having it. So when you look within, when you concentrate on yourself, your purity keeps on increasing. You go on progressing in the path of liberation. From 4th stage to 5th stage, 5th to 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th. So when you achieve the 13th stage, that is the time you manifest omniscience knowledge. Okay. And in this omniscient knowledge, you are knowing all the substances of this universe with all their modifications, past, present, and future, and simultaneously. Now we are discussing a comparative study of the subject of all 5 kinds of knowledge. So first is sensory and scriptural knowledge, both put together. It can know all the substances, but it cannot know all the modification, but few modification it can know. Clairvoyance knowledge, it can know substance with form only, matter substance, and mundane soul. Now why it is written mundane soul, you know? Because through clairvoyance knowledge, he can make out, he cannot see the soul. Okay, mundane soul he cannot see, but he can know what are the karmas, because karmas are matter particles. So whether one soul is a right believer or a false believer, a clairvoyance knowledge can know it. How it can know it? because he knows only the matter substance and karma is a matter substance. So he will check whether there is delusion karma is there or not. If the delusion karma is there, then he will understand that this is a mundane soul. Okay. So this is how it knows. And it also knows only few modifications. The next in the line is telepathy knowledge. Telepathy knowledge knows all the substances with form. Again, it is just knowing matter substance. Okay. And that what matter substance? Only the thoughts. Okay. Vichar and vikalp. Thoughts and what is called vikalp. Vikalp is again what is it called? Vikalp. Vikalp is also say thoughts. I'll just check it out. Okay. So these are matter substances. That means our thoughts are also matter substance. Although we are not able to see it, but omniscient being knows what we are going through in terms of thoughts. Okay. So telepathy knowledge, the subject is only the thoughts, and that is again a matter substance. How many modification it knows? Few modes, infinite part of clairvoyance. And omniscient knowledge knows all the substances and all the modifications. Okay. So this is the subject matter of all 5 kinds of knowledge. Now the sutra number 30. From 1 to 4 kinds of knowledge can be possessed simultaneously by a single soul. Okay. So if we consider one particular soul, what are the kinds of knowledge he can have simultaneously? Okay. So if he is having only one knowledge, then it would be omniscience knowledge, because when the omniscience knowledge manifests, all the 4 knowledges are absent because it knows everything. So it does not require sensory knowledge, it does not require scriptural knowledge, it does not require clairvoyance knowledge, and it does not require telepathy knowledge. Now somebody is having 2 knowledge, then it will be sensory and scriptural, as we are there. Okay. If it is 3 knowledge, then it could be sensory, scriptural, clairvoyance, or sensory, scriptural, or telepathy. Both could be there. Okay. But anyways, sensory and scriptural will be there always. Okay. And if it is 4 knowledge, all the 4, sensory, scriptural, clairvoyance, and telepathy, this also is possible. Okay. But this is possible to a monk only, right believer monk. Okay. That can have all the 4 knowledge together. So all these Gandhars, Gandhar, they are having 4 knowledge. And the Tirthankars, when they take birth, they are having 3 knowledges, and when they become a monk, they get initiated into monkhood, they attain telepathy knowledge also. Okay. So when they are born with 3 knowledges: the sensory knowledge, scriptural knowledge, and the clairvoyance knowledge. Okay. So these are all informations only. You have to just understand it. And if you want to go very deep, then you can refer to that other book of Vijay Kumar Jain. But in examination, only the sutras will come. So whatever is the matter of sutra, that will come, and based on that, the questions will be asked. Now, sensory knowledge, scriptural knowledge, and clairvoyance may also be erroneous knowledge. Okay. So there we discussed 5 knowledges. These were all part of the right knowledge. Now there could be false knowledge, and false knowledge could be sensory false knowledge, false sensory knowledge, false scriptural knowledge, and false clairvoyance knowledge. It is called Kumati, Kusrut, and Ku Avdi. Okay. Owing to lack of discrimination between the real and the unreal, wrong knowledge is whimsical as that of a lunatic. Lunatic means a mad person. Okay. So it cannot know the correct nature of the object. It will always be false knowledge. So wrong false knowledge we can say divided into three: false sensory knowledge, false scriptural knowledge, and false clairvoyance knowledge. The knowledge of a mithyadrashti, wrong believer, is wrong knowledge, false knowledge. So when the belief is wrong, the knowledge is wrong and the conduct is also wrong. Why? Because his or her faith is itself false. How? Absence of discrimination between real and unreal, Sat and Asat. What is existent and what is non-existence is not able to discriminate. Okay. Like whom? Like a mad person who tries acquiring any matter according to his her wish. Okay. So mad person have all these kinds of thoughts that I am owning this country and I am the king of this country. You know, he may be a beggar, but because he's mad, his brain is not working properly. So he believes himself to be the king and all. So who tries acquiring any matter according to his or her wish. Now, this is 32 we have completed. Now we are on to 33. So 33 we will complete tomorrow. There is some discussions we will do on 33. Although from the chart is very simple, but we will understand it in a better way. So that we will do tomorrow. And then we will finish the only 8 sutras are there, I think in which one? Fifth chapter. We will move directly to 5th chapter, and there the sutra numbers are 21, 29, 30, 31, 32, 38, 41, 42. These 8 sutras. So we'll try to complete these 8 sutras and one that is left over in the first chapter. And then we have 3 more chapters to cover, 6, 7, 8 in this semester, and 9th and 10th chapter would be covered in the next semester, 6th sem. Okay. So we are going quite correct speed only, and we will be finishing on time. Any questions on today's lecture?
Sir, one question. What knowledge gets carried from? Maybe I missed the point. Maybe you explain. What knowledge or does any impression of whatever knowledge or whatever guna we acquire because of our knowledge goes to the next birth?
So in the next birth, you will carry all the knowledge that you have studied, contemplated, and arrived at a decision. So whatever is decision, that is all retained. Okay. But if you don't reach the level of decision, so decision level comes only when you contemplate again and again. Then you are able to arrive at a decision, right? So once you arrive at a decision, then you carry it through the next birth. And the other part is that if you manifest right knowledge in this birth, okay, so right knowledge precedes, so first it should be right belief. Okay, so first right belief and right knowledge if you are able to manifest, and then that also goes in the next birth. All this sensory knowledge, you know, the knowledge of engineering, the knowledge of doctor, it's all becomes zero when we leave this body. There is no way we can carry forward this knowledge in the next birth. But whatever you have done in terms of decision, in reading the scriptures, contemplating about it, and arriving at a conclusion. Now, like one substance cannot do anything of the other substance. Now, if you have understood this very well, in the next birth, you will carry this. Okay. And the right knowledge is always carried forward, and there is nothing else that you can carry forward here from here. So it is better that we manifest right knowledge, and it is quite simple. It's not very difficult. Only thing is that you have to seriously study it. You have to spend time with Jinwani, understand the concepts, and then contemplate about it, and then apply it in your day-to-day life. And when you apply such knowledge, you see that life is so easy, life is so enjoyable, you know, because these all principles will help you to remove your anxiety, stress, worries, nothing. Everything is simple because as a soul, your function is just to know and see, nothing beyond that. And if you remain so, then this means you have manifested right belief, because you are a soul and you believe yourself to be a soul, then you are a right believer. So like that. So this is what you carry forward. Any other questions?
Nothing, sir.
Okay. So we'll close for today. निज निधि निज में बताई, यह अनंत उपकार है, उसके लिए जिनवाणी माँ को वंदना सत बार है, उसके लिए जिनवाणी माँ को वंदना सत बार है।